Reading, reading is fundamental. That is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Read 15 minutes or more of nonfiction every single day. The next one is learning new skills. Again, 15 years ago, all of the skills that I have now, taking a small business from a startup and turning it into something grand, working with nonprofits, teaching people how to do business in other countries, other continents. I know how to do none of that stuff. I knew how to take finished goods, turn it into raw materials, and sell it in the marketplace, and keep soldiers and people alive and be safe. Everything that you see today is from me being self-taught in the last 15 years. We're about to be 15 in June, so 14 and a half. So learning new skills, taking risk, that's daily. Take a risk, because what happens is the more risk you take, the less fear you take in. The more risk you take, the less fear you take in. So you keep your ass out of the temporal lobe. It's red on my shirt for a reason. Do not enter, okay? Stop entering here on purpose. Stay over here. And when you're taking risks, guess what you got to do? Be present. You got to be 100% present, because this is something that you've never done before. You have to challenge yourself. Again, that's working up here. Now, the frontal lobe, everything interacts with other parts of the brain, but these are the focal points of where it actually starts to take place. So challenging yourself, setting and maintaining high standards. Again, up here, if you are maintaining high standards, you got to have a high stimulation for that. So you can't be over here crying and complaining in your amygdala if you up here setting and maintaining high standards. And then improving your current skills. So as I mentioned, I have 5 different communication certifications, Toastmasters International, some from Frito-Lay and some from the Army as well. And so being able to communicate effectively, which is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, is something that I can do. Some of it is natural talent. I come from a talented family, so some of it came here this way, but the finessing of it. Leon Lato taught me how to pause. So there are times when, to the point where people think I've frozen. That's something. And the slowing down, the vocal variety, and all of those things I learned as I became a distinguished Toastmaster, because that's not something that when I was a CIMT. Okay, Brian, I'm going to address that in 1 second. So because I was a CIMT, which is a continuous improvement master trainer and a performance-based trainer and a Move Smart trainer at Frito-Lay, they kind of just told you about the training. I'm the one who added it and put a little bit more bam on it. So Brian, while the reason why, let me tell you the disclaimer for that. So thank you for your service came from when people came back, and I'm not about to get into politics about Vietnam. You start talking about that shit, you getting blocked. I'm explaining to Brian why I don't want to hear thank you for your service. So thank you for your service came because when people came back from Vietnam, people were spitting on them and they did not receive a warm welcome. And so that's where thank you for your service came from, because of the Agent Orange, the sacrifice that they made. People came back missing limbs. It still happens. But it was terrible over there for them. And when they came back, America was pissed. And so they did not get a very welcoming homecoming. So that is where thank you for your service came from. Now, we had Desert Storm. We've had plenty of conflicts since then. And so my experience, I was a military police officer, okay? And so I have pictures, battle rattle, full everything. I have nerve damage in my hand from air assault school. I have damaged shoulders and damaged knees, got a little PTSD going on, ringing in the ear. So it's not service, it's sacrifice. So service is when you go to the restaurant and you get people to come and give you your food. My daughter has a service business. We're going to go and put some garage shelves in a garage today, and we're going to go build a dresser. But the sacrifice, I literally got out of the military in April of 2001. And if I hear we're at appointment and I hear too many jets, we were at appointment in North Las Vegas by the Air Force Base. I hear too many jets coming. It's going to trigger my PTSD because I lived on a Republic of Korea Air Force Base next to a nuclear biochemical chamber, and I had non-potable water. So thank you for your service works for some veterans who didn't really do a lot or they don't care. But going forward, you can say, well, how was your time there? You can ask questions, but the thank you for your service is almost like when you leave the grocery store and they say thank you and hand you your receipt. So going forward, I've never met somebody that when you say thank you for your sacrifice, they don't say, that shit wasn't no sacrifice. Don't be saying that shit to me. Some people are okay with it. I'm not that person because it's been 23, about to be 24 years, and I'm still recovering from that 5.5 years that I was in the military. Okay, so